Michael Carter never imagined waking up to the sound of his own car attempting to flee his garage. It wasn't rolling out on its own, of course, but the woman behind the wheel clearly thought she'd struck gold. Through the blurry feed of his security camera, Michael could make out her distinct figure, a short, stocky woman with a sharp, uneven bob haircut that practically shouted, "I need to speak to your supervisor." Her fumbling with the keys, accompanied by muttered curses, told him one thing. She had no clue what she was in for. For a moment, Michael just stared, still groggy from sleep, wondering if this was some absurd dream. The scene was almost too ridiculous to be real. A total stranger had broken into his garage and was now trying to steal his car, as if she owned it. He rubbed his eyes, blinked, and checked the screen again. Nope, still there. Still real. She was now jabbing the start button with growing frustration, her leopard print jacket glinting faintly under the dim garage lights. Her muttering grew louder, though he couldn't make out the words. The instinct to call the police hit him immediately, but then a memory stopped him cold, twisting his shock into a mix of amusement and anticipation. This wasn't just any car, it was a decoy. His garage had been rigged as part of a police sting operation targeting a sophisticated car theft ring in the area. The vehicle was packed with tracking devices, hidden cameras, and, best of all, a remote kill switch that could shut it down at a moment's notice. The cops had been expecting seasoned criminals, not some entitled suburban woman with a chip on her shoulder. Michael leaned closer to his phone, watching as the woman, whom he'd already mentally dubbed Linda, finally got the engine to roar to life. She flinched, startled by her own success, then adjusted the rearview mirror. Her face came into sharper focus on the camera, a blend of smug triumph and annoyance, as if she was irritated that stealing a car hadn't been quicker. Without hesitation, she floored the gas. The car surged forward, straight into the still-closed garage door. Tires screeched, followed by a jarring thud as the vehicle slammed into the metal. The door groaned under the impact, and Michael swore he saw a pin topple off a shelf in the background. Linda's head jerked forward, her sunglasses, why was she wearing sunglasses at night, flying off as she let out a piercing, indignant yelp. Undeterred, she threw the car into reverse with too much force. It rocketed backward, crashing into Michael's workbench. The sound of crumpling metal and splintering would reverberated through the garage. Michael couldn't hold it in anymore. He burst out laughing, nearly dropping his phone. By now, the commotion had roused the neighborhood. Porch lights blinked on one by one, and a dog started barking in the distance. Linda, in a final frantic bid to escape, tried driving forward again, only to find the engine completely dead. Michael had flipped the kill switch. When she realized the car wouldn't budge, Linda lost it. She pounded the steering wheel in a full-blown tantrum, fumbling with the door handle. But the car's auto-lock system had kicked in, trapping her inside. Her muffled screams filled the garage, and Michael could only imagine her ranting about how this was illegal, how she had every right to the car, how she'd sue someone. Grinning, he grabbed his phone and dialed the police. "Hey, you guys might want to get over here," he said, barely containing his amusement. "Your sting just caught someone, but, not who you were expecting." The officer on the line sounded baffled. "Wait, what do you mean?" "You'll see when you get here," Michael replied. "Trust me, it's worth the trip." 10 minutes later, red and blue lights flooded the street as a squad car rolled up. By now, half the neighborhood had gathered outside, watching the chaos unfold like a late-night TV special. Linda was still inside the car, alternating between banging on the windows and fumbling with her phone. When the officers approached, her demeanor shifted abruptly. She pressed herself against the glass, her face morphing from rage to exaggerated indignation. The moment they unlocked the door and pulled her out, she threw her hands up. "Finally. Arrest him," she shrieked, pointing at Michael. "This is my car. He locked me inside. He tried to kidnap me." Michael raised an eyebrow. "Your car?" "Yes," she snapped. "My friend told me it was abandoned. I was just taking what's rightfully mine." The officer blinked, then glanced at his partner before turning back to Linda. "Ma'am, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard." Linda's face flushed red, but she wasn't finished. She spun toward the growing crowd. "Do you all see this? This is discrimination. I was just trying to go home. And this man set a trap for me. This is entrapment." Michael couldn't believe his ears. "A trap? Lady, You broke into my garage and tried to steal my car. That's not the point. Linda shot back. Oh, I think it is, the officer interjected, exchanging a weary look with his partner. All right, that's enough. Ma'am, you're under arrest for breaking and entering, attempted grand theft auto, and resisting arrest. Linda's eyes widened. You can't do this. I have rights. Her protests were cut off as the officers guided her toward the squad car. She twisted in their grip, still trying to argue, but it was clear she'd lost. As they shoved her into the back seat, she shot Michael a venomous glare. This isn't over, she screamed. Michael smirked. Oh, I really hope it is. As the police car pulled away, the neighbors began to disperse, muttering and shaking their heads. Michael exhaled, still processing the madness of the last hour. The garage damage would be a pain to fix, but at least he had a story for the ages. And it wasn't even over yet. His phone buzzed again. It was a detective from the sting operation. The moment Michael picked up, an exasperated voice barked. Are you telling me our month-long setup was just ruined by some random woman named Linda? Michael stifled a laugh. That's exactly what I'm telling you. There was a long pause. The detective sighed. All right, we're on our way. Try not to let anyone else steal the car in the meantime. Michael hung up, shaking his head. He glanced at the street, where most neighbors had retreated inside, though a few lingered on their porches, hungry for more drama. He couldn't blame them. This wasn't an everyday spectacle. Just as he turned to head back inside, another car screeched down the road, swerving to a stop in front of his driveway. The headlights flashed, and a disheveled man in sweatpants and a faded t-shirt stumbled out. He looked half asleep, half panicked, and utterly unprepared. Where is she? The man demanded, rubbing his eyes. What's going on? Michael instantly knew who this was. It had to be Tom. Before he could respond, Tom's gaze landed on the squad car, where Linda was still thrashing against the seatbelt. His face paled, and he let out a long, weary sigh. He didn't even seem surprised. Oh, for the love of Linda, what did you do? The squad car's backseat window cracked open just enough for Linda's voice to pierce the night. Tom, they're arresting me for no reason. Tell them to let me go. Tom pinched the bridge of his nose. What did you do? I was just taking what's rightfully mine, Linda shouted. Tom groaned. Oh no, not this again. The officer nearby crossed his arms. Sir, do you have any idea why your wife was in this man's garage, breaking into a car that isn't hers? Tom sighed, looking like he'd aged a decade in minutes. Look, Linda has this thing. She sees stuff she thinks is abandoned and just takes it. She says it's legal. Michael's eyebrows shot up. Legal? Linda yelled from the car. It is. If someone isn't using something, it's fair game. Tom turned back to the officer, lowering his voice. I swear, she's been doing this for years. Lawn chairs, bikes, even a damn barbecue grill once. But a car? This is a new low, even for her. The officer rubbed his temples. Well, sir, this time she's facing charges for grand theft auto, breaking and entering, and resisting arrest. She's in serious trouble. Tom closed his eyes, breathing deeply. You have no idea how much paperwork this is going to be. Before anyone could reply, another car rolled up the street, moving slowly. It was an old, beat-up sedan with a cracked windshield. A chill ran through Michael. The Sting wasn't meant for petty thieves like Linda, it was designed for pros. As the sedan stopped a few houses down, he noticed the two men inside didn't get out. They just sat there, watching. One of the officers noticed too, muttering into his radio and shifting his hand to his belt. The other turned, eyeing the car suspiciously. Linda, oblivious to the tension, kept ranting. I hope you know I'm suing all of you. This is illegal. I demand a lawyer. No, I demand the mayor. Tom tried to intervene. Can we just? He was cut off as the sedan's passenger door swung open. A man stepped out, glancing around before whispering to the driver. Michael's gut tightened. These guys weren't random gawkers. They were here for the car. The officer called out, Sir, is there a reason you're parked here? The man hesitated a beat too long, then bolted. The officer shouted for him to stop, but he was already sprinting. The sedan's driver gunned the engine, tires squealing as he tried to peel out. In his panic, he misjudged the turn, clipped the curb, and crashed into a fire hydrant. Water erupted into the air like a fountain. The second officer tackled the fleeing man mid-stride, pinning him to the ground. The driver, still in the wrecked car, raised his hands in surrender as water rained down. Linda, unfazed by the escalating chaos, shrieked, "Why are you arresting them? They're just trying to get home." Michael stared at her, incredulous. "Are you serious?" "Yes," she snapped. "The real criminal here is you. This was a setup, wasn't it? You lured people in with a valuable car, hoping someone would take it so you could get them arrested. That's entrapment." A soaked officer turned to her, his expression flat. "Ma'am, that's not how entrapment works." Linda huffed. "Oh, so now you're a legal expert? I'll have you know I took a criminal justice course in community college." Tom, silent through the madness, let out an exhausted sigh. "Linda, please, for the love of everything good, just stop talking." Linda gasped, scandalized. "Tom, whose side are you on?" Tom surveyed the scene. The crashed car, the handcuffed suspect, the gushing hydrant, the drenched officers, the growing crowd, and Michael, who was clearly enjoying himself. With a slow shake of his head, he muttered, "Not yours." Michael burst out laughing as the officers processed the real thieves. The chaos in his driveway began to settle. Linda, still in the squad car, ranted about corruption and loopholes, while Tom stood aside, staring into the night like a man who'd seen too much. One officer approached Michael, shaking his head. "I don't know whether to thank you or apologize." Michael smirked. "Honestly, I should thank you. I didn't even have to pay for entertainment tonight." The officer chuckled. "Well, thanks for your cooperation. We'll be in touch about property damage claims." Michael nodded, glancing at his bent garage door. "Yeah, I'll need that." As the last squad car drove off, the street quieted. The hydrant was shut off, leaving the pavement soaked. The smell of wet asphalt mingled with the hum of crickets as Michael's adrenaline faded. He took a deep breath, turned to head inside, and then his phone buzzed. It was a video from an unknown number, a security clip of Linda trying to steal his car, banging her head on the wheel when the engine died, and screaming about being kidnapped. Below it, a caption, "You should post this." Michael grinned. He hit upload. Within hours, it went viral. The internet had a new meme, and Linda was in for the worst week of her life.